ladies and gentlemen. The power of dedication is not something that arrives like a sudden storm, nor is it an innate gift bestowed upon a chosen few. It is a quiet force like the steady flow of a river carving through stone over centuries. It is persistence, patience, and the unwavering commitment to a path, even when the destination remains shrouded in uncertainty. Dedication is not merely a tool for achieving goals, it is an art, a way of living that transforms not only what we do, but also who we are. Dedication begins with attention. To dedicate yourself to something means to give it your attention fully and without distraction. But notice how rare this is in our world. We live in an age of constant movement, of fragmented thoughts, where the mind flits from one thing to another like a restless bird. And yet, true dedication demands stillness. It calls for you to bring all of yourself into the present moment, to engage with the task at hand as though it were the most important thing in the universe. Not because it necessarily is, but because the act of dedicating yourself imbues it with meaning. Embrace discomfort is the catalyst for your growth. When we think about discomfort, it often comes with a negative connotation. It is something we avoid, something that feels alien, unsettling, and at times unbearable. Yet discomfort is the soil from which growth emerges. The most profound transformations in life are born not in the cradle of ease, but in the crucible of challenge. This is not an arbitrary truth, but one that echoes in every aspect of existence. Look at nature. The seed must crack and break open in the darkness of the earth to give way to the roots that anchor it, and the stem that rises to greet the sun. The caterpillar dissolves into a shapeless form in its cocoon before it re-emerges as a butterfly. Discomfort is not a punishment, it is a process. Growth, real and lasting, does not come from standing in the warmth of what is known, but from venturing into the unknown. Discomfort is the compass pointing us toward that unknown, urging us to step beyond the limits of our perceived capabilities. It is the moment when the body resists the last few seconds of a workout, the mind protests the effort required to focus on a new skill, or the heart hesitates at the vulnerability needed to forge a deep connection. It is in these moments of discomfort that we grow. They are the moments when we are most alive, because they remind us of the potential that lies dormant within, waiting to be awakened. When we avoid discomfort, we also avoid growth. Comfort zones, though they feel safe, are cages that confine the soul. They lull us into a false sense of security, convincing us that staying where we are is preferable to facing the unknown. But what is this security? Is it not a quiet resignation to mediocrity? Is it not a subtle but steady erosion of our dreams and aspirations? The cost of comfort is the loss of potential. To embrace discomfort is to reclaim that potential, to rise above the inertia of complacency, and to move toward the life we are meant to live. The key is to reframe how we view discomfort. Instead of seeing it as an enemy, we must see it as a guide, a mentor that challenges us to do better and be better. Discomfort is a signal that we are pushing our boundaries, that we are engaging with life rather than merely existing within it. Every great achievement, every leap forward in human history has been preceded by a willingness to endure discomfort. It is not the absence of fear or struggle that defines the brave, it is their ability to act despite those things. They lean into discomfort, knowing that it is a necessary step toward their aspirations. When discomfort comes, the instinct is to retreat, to find a way to avoid or numb the pain. But what if we chose instead to lean into it? What if we decided to sit with it, to understand it, and to learn from it? The initial resistance we feel is not permanent. The mind and body adapt. The weight that feels unbearable today becomes manageable tomorrow. The task that seems insurmountable becomes routine with practice. This is the miracle of growth. What once seemed impossible becomes second nature. But only if we are willing to endure the discomfort long enough to reach the other side. Think of discomfort as a fire. At first its heat is intense, almost unbearable. But as you adjust, you realize that it is not here to dishear you. It is here to refine you, to burn away the impurities of doubt, fear, and hesitation. It is in this fire that you become stronger, more resilient, and more capable. Avoiding the fire leaves you untouched, but it also leaves you unchanged. Stepping into it, on the other hand, transforms you into something greater. Discomfort also teaches us humility. It reminds us that we are not perfect, that we do not have all the answers, and that we have much to learn. It strips away the illusion of control and forces us to confront our limitations. But in doing so, it also shows us our strength. Each time we face discomfort and persevere, we prove to ourselves that we are capable of more than we believed. We build confidence not from the absence of challenges, but from our ability to overcome them. It is important to note that embracing discomfort does not mean seeking pain for its own sake. It is not about reckless suffering or martyrdom. It is about recognizing the difference between discomfort that harms and discomfort that heals. The former is destructive. The latter is transformative. It is the kind of discomfort that comes from growth, from stretching beyond what is easy and familiar. It is the discomfort of doing what is necessary to become who we are meant to be. When we look back on our lives, it is not the moments of ease that stand out. It is the moments when we were challenged, when we struggled and persevered, that we remember most vividly. These are the moments that define us, that shape our character, and that give meaning to our journey. Discomfort, then, is not something to fear, but something to embrace. It is the sign that we are on the right path, that we are growing, and that we are alive. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. Small daily actions lead to monumental change. In a world that glorifies quick fixes and dramatic transformations, the power of consistency is often overlooked. Yet it is this quiet, steady force that has the potential to create the most profound and lasting change. Intensity, though impressive in the moment, is fleeting. It burns brightly but fades quickly. Consistency, on the other hand, is the slow and steady flame that endures, building strength and momentum over time. The beauty of consistency lies in its simplicity. It does not demand grand gestures or monumental efforts. It asks only for small, deliberate actions repeated over time. These actions, though seemingly insignificant on their own, accumulate to create something extraordinary. A single drop of water may seem powerless, but over time it can carve through stone. In the same way, small daily efforts, when sustained, have the power to overcome even the greatest obstacles. Consistency is the foundation of mastery. Whether it is learning a new skill, building a habit, or achieving a goal, the key is not to do everything at once, but to show up every day. Progress is not measured by how much we do in a single day, but by how often we are willing to try again. It is the willingness to take one more step, even when the path feels long and the destination far away, that leads to success. The greatest achievements are not the result of a single extraordinary effort, but of countless small efforts made consistently over time. The power of consistency lies in its compounding effect. Each small action builds upon the last, creating momentum and reinforcing progress. What starts as a small ripple becomes a wave, growing in strength and impact as it moves forward. This is why consistency is more powerful than intensity. Intensity is a burst of energy that quickly dissipates, while consistency is a steady grows stronger with time. It is the difference between a flash of lightning and the steady light of the sun. The former is impressive but short-lived, the latter sustains life. Consistency also builds resilience. It teaches us to keep going even when the results are not immediate. It reminds us that progress is not always linear and that setbacks are a natural part of the process. Each day that we show up, we strengthen our commitment and our belief in ourselves. This resilience, born from consistency, is what allows us to persevere in the face of challenges and to continue moving forward when others give up. The greatest obstacle to consistency is often our own impatience. We live in a world that values instant gratification, where success is often portrayed as something that happens overnight. But real change, the kind that lasts, takes time. It requires patience, perseverance, and a willingness to embrace the process. Consistency is not about perfection. It is about progress. It is about showing up, doing the work, and trusting that each small step is bringing us closer to our goal. Self-discipline is freedom. It liberates you from the chaos of impulse. At first, this idea may seem paradoxical. How can something that feels like restriction actually lead to freedom? When we hear the term self-discipline, it often conjures images of rigid schedules, denial, or unrelenting rules that cage the human spirit. Yet, when understood correctly, self-discipline is not about oppression but liberation. It is the art of aligning your actions with your deeper values and goals, freeing you from the fleeting desires and distractions that pull you in every direction. Life without self-discipline is a life dictated by impulse. In the absence of discipline, we become slaves to our momentary urges, chasing after whatever promises the quickest gratification. But gratification born of impulse is hollow and fleeting. It does not bring the satisfaction it promises. Instead, it leaves us yearning for more, creating a cycle of endless craving. Without discipline, we drift aimlessly, reacting to life rather than living it deliberately. True freedom is not the absence of constraints, but the ability to choose which constraints serve us. Self-discipline gives us the power to make those choices. When we cultivate self-discipline, we reclaim control over our lives. We become the authors of our story rather than passive participants in it. Self-discipline allows us to set our sights on a goal and take steady steps toward it, even when the path is difficult. It teaches us to prioritize what matters over what is easy to delay gratification in favor of long-term fulfillment. This ability to act in alignment with our higher aspirations, even in the face of discomfort or resistance, is what makes self-discipline a form of freedom. There is a profound sense of liberation in knowing that you are capable of following through on your intentions. When you commit to a path and honor that commitment, you build trust in yourself. This trust is the foundation of confidence and self-respect. It is not born from the absence of failure, but from the willingness to try again, to persevere even when the immediate rewards are not visible. Each act of self-discipline strengthens this trust, creating a positive cycle that reinforces your ability to live in alignment with your values. Self-discipline is not about denying pleasure or suppressing desires. It is about understanding which desires truly serve your well-being and which are distractions. It is about making choices that reflect your highest aspirations rather than your momentary whims. This requires self-awareness, the ability to pause, reflect, and recognize the difference between what feels good in the moment and what is genuinely good for you. Self-discipline is the bridge between your current self and the self you aspire to become. It is the tool that transforms intention into action and potential into reality. The practice of self-discipline often begins with small acts. It might be as simple as choosing to wake up a little earlier, resist the temptation to procrastinate, or say no to something that does not align with your goals. These small choices, though they may seem insignificant in the moment, have a cumulative effect. They build momentum, creating a foundation of habits that support your growth. Over time, these habits become second nature, freeing you from the mental burden of constant decision-making. Self-discipline, when practiced consistently, becomes a source of ease rather than effort. One of the greatest gifts of self-discipline is the clarity it brings. When you are disciplined, you create space in your life for what truly matters. You learn to focus your energy on the things that align with your purpose, letting go of the noise and distractions that pull you off course. This clarity allows you to move through life with a sense of direction and intention. It frees you from the chaos of indecision and the regret of unfulfilled potential. Self-discipline is not about perfection. It is about progress. It is about making choices that move you closer to your goals, one step at a time. The freedom that comes from self-discipline extends beyond your personal achievements. It impacts your relationships, your work, and your ability to contribute to the world. When you are disciplined, you are better able to show up for others, to honor your commitments, and to be a source of stability and support. Self-discipline allows you to create a life that is not only fulfilling for yourself, but also meaningful for those around you. It is a gift not only to yourself, but to the world. A disciplined life is not a life of deprivation, it is a life of abundance. It is a life where you have the freedom to pursue your passions, to explore your potential, and to create the future you envision. This freedom does not come from avoiding effort, but from embracing it. Self-discipline is not a burden, it is a privilege. It is the privilege of choosing your path and walking it with intention, of living a life that is true to your values and aspirations. Embrace uncertainty. It is the birthplace of discovery and creativity. The human mind craves certainty. It seeks the safety of knowing, the comfort of predictability, and the illusion of control. Yet it is the basis of uncertainty that the most profound discoveries and creations emerge. Certainty, while reassuring, can become a prison that confines our thinking and limits our potential. When we cling too tightly to what is known, we close ourselves off to the possibilities that lie beyond it. Uncertainty, though it may feel uncomfortable, is not something to be feared but embraced. Uncertainty is the blank canvas on which creativity paints. It is the uncharted territory where innovation thrives. When we step into the unknown, we open ourselves to new ideas, perspectives, and experiences. This openness is the wellspring of creativity. It allows us to see connections that were previously hidden, to approach problems from fresh angles, and to imagine possibilities that did not exist before. The most groundbreaking discoveries and creations in history have come not from a place of certainty, but from a willingness to explore the unknown. Embracing uncertainty requires a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing it as a threat, we must see it as an opportunity. Uncertainty is not a void to be filled with answers, but a space to be explored with curiosity. It invites us to let go of our need for control and to trust in the process of discovery. This trust does not mean abandoning reason or preparation. It means being open to the unexpected and willing to adapt. It means recognizing that uncertainty is not the absence of order, but the presence of potential. When we embrace uncertainty, we free ourselves from the fear of failure. Failure, after all, is only possible when we cling to a specific outcome. When we approach life with an open mind, we see failure not as an endpoint, but as a stepping stone. Each misstep becomes a lesson, each setback an opportunity to grow. This mindset transforms uncertainty from a source of anxiety into a source of excitement. It allows us to approach challenges with a sense of playfulness and experimentation, knowing that the journey is as important as the destination. Uncertainty also fosters resilience. It teaches us to navigate change with grace and to adapt to new circumstances with ease. In a world that is constantly evolving, the ability to embrace uncertainty is a vital skill. It allows us to move through life with a sense of fluidity, to let go of what no longer serves us and to embrace what does. This resilience is not about being unaffected by change, but about being able to flow with it, to find stability within ourselves even when the external world is in flux. The beauty of uncertainty is that it keeps us alive to the wonder of life. When everything is known and predictable, life becomes monotonous. It is the unexpected twists and turns, the surprises and mysteries that make life vibrant and full of possibility. Uncertainty reminds us that we do not have all the answers, that there is always more to learn, discover, and experience. It invites us to approach each day with a sense of curiosity and wonder, to see the world not as a set of fixed truths, but as a dynamic and ever-changing landscape. To embrace uncertainty is to embrace life itself. Life, by its very nature, is uncertain. It is a continuous unfolding of moments, each one filled with infinite possibilities. When we resist uncertainty, we resist life. When we embrace it, we open ourselves to its richness and depth. Uncertainty is not a barrier to be overcome, but a gift to be cherished. It is the space where creativity flourishes, where growth happens, and where the magic of life reveals itself. To find peace, one must first make peace with the internal noise that constantly disrupts the stillness of the mind. We are all deeply familiar with this noise, whether it is the constant chatter of thoughts, the feelings of anxiety that seem to persist in the background, or the worries about what has happened and what might happen. The noise can be deafening, drowning out the voice of clarity, leaving us feeling overwhelmed and disconnected from our deeper sense of self. Yet peace is not something that needs to be found outside of us. It is not a destination to arrive at, but a state of being to cultivate. To make peace with the inner turmoil, we must begin by recognizing it, understanding it, and accepting it. Our minds are filled with thoughts that often feel like they have a life of their own. We think we control them, but in reality we are often at the mercy of their flow. Thoughts arise and pass, seemingly at random, creating a constant tide of mental activity. At times they can be comforting, offering solutions and insights. But often they become overwhelming, as if the mind is trying to juggle too many things at once. It's easy to become entangled in these thoughts, allowing them to dictate how we feel, how we behave, and how we experience the world. But if we become aware of this, we can begin to separate ourselves from the thoughts. We do not have to identify with them. They do not define us. In truth, thoughts are like clouds in the sky, passing, transient and ever-changing. They come and go, but the sky remains. Similarly, our minds are always in flux, but our essence, the part of us that is truly at peace, remains constant. To access this inner peace, we need to learn how to stop identifying with every thought, emotion, or sensation. Instead of being pulled into the drama of our internal narratives, we can simply observe them. This practice of mindfulness, the art of simply noticing what is happening in the moment without judgment, allows us to step back from the chaos and find the space between the thoughts. This space, the stillness, is where peace resides. It is always there, just waiting for us to notice it. The second part of making peace with the internal noise is acceptance. It is common for us to fight against the noise in our minds, hoping that by resisting it, we will find relief. However, resistance only intensifies the struggle. The more we try to push away uncomfortable thoughts or feelings, the more they seem to persist. This is because resistance feeds the very thing we are trying to escape. But when we accept the noise, when we accept the thoughts, the feelings, the discomfort, they begin to lose their power. Acceptance does not mean liking what is happening, but it means acknowledging it without judgment. It is a recognition that the noise is a natural part of the human experience, and by making peace with it, we can begin to transcend it. Another essential aspect of inner peace is letting go of the need to control. We live in a world that values control, and for many it is the desire to control everything, our circumstances, our thoughts, our outcomes, that causes so much distress. We believe that if we can control everything, we will be happy. But in reality, the more we try to control, the more we are controlled by our desire to control. True peace comes from releasing this need for control and allowing life to unfold as it will. This doesn't mean abandoning responsibility or becoming passive, but rather it is about learning to flow with life, to accept that there are forces beyond our control, and to trust that things will unfold in their own time. It is this trust that fosters peace, for when we stop resisting the natural flow of life, we can begin to experience a sense of harmony. Creating peace is not an isolated act. It is a continual process. Every moment we are presented with opportunities to either feed the noise or return to stillness. Each thought, each situation, each encounter with another person offers us a choice. We can allow the noise to pull us into chaos, or we can choose to come back to the present moment, to silence the mind and return to a place of peace. It is in this awareness that peace is cultivated. The more we practice this awareness, the more we can remain in a state of calm, even when the world around us feels turbulent. Inner peace is also about forgiveness, both of ourselves and others. Holding on to anger, regret, or resentment only serves to disturb the peace we seek. We may feel justified in holding on to these emotions, thinking that by doing so, we protect ourselves or teach someone a lesson. But in reality, it is only ourselves that we harm. The act of forgiveness is not about condoning the actions that have hurt us. It is about letting go of the emotional weight that we carry. It is about freeing ourselves from the past so that we can live fully in the present. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks the door to peace, allowing us to release the burdens that keep us tied to negative emotions. Peace also arises from a deeper understanding of the nature of life itself. Life is not a straight line. It is full of twists and turns, of highs and lows, of moments of joy and moments of sorrow. The key to peace is not to avoid the difficulties, but to accept them as part of the journey. We often resist pain, thinking that it is something to be avoided at all costs. But pain, like everything else in life, is temporary. It too shall pass. When we accept that suffering is part of the human experience, we no longer fear it. Instead, we can learn from it, grow through it, and ultimately find peace in the midst of it. Life is a dance between light and shadow, and only by embracing both can we experience true peace. Peace is not a destination, but a way of being. It is a way of experiencing the world that is grounded in acceptance, in letting go, in awareness, and in forgiveness. It is a practice that must be cultivated daily, through every thought, every action, every relationship. The more we practice it, the more it becomes a part of who we are. And as we become more peaceful within ourselves, we begin to see that the world around us reflects that peace. Peace does not come from external circumstances, it comes from within. Success is not a destination, but a process, a journey, a continuous unfolding. It is not the end goal that brings fulfillment, but the steps along the way. Yet we often find ourselves fixated on the idea of success as a final, tangible achievement, something to be crossed off a list or celebrated at the end. We believe that when we reach that point, when we finally attain our goal, we will feel content. But the truth is, success is a state of being, and it cannot be measured by a single accomplishment or a milestone. It is not an external condition that can be quantified. Rather, it is a reflection of our attitude, our approach to life, and our willingness to engage fully in the process. The key to success is not in chasing after it, but in understanding that success already exists within us. We are all capable of success. But it is only when we align ourselves with this truth, when we stop fighting against our own potential, that we begin to experience it. We often underestimate the importance of internal alignment, the harmony between our values, our actions, and our mindset. Without this alignment, success remains elusive, no matter how hard we work or how much we achieve. To align ourselves with success, we must first let go of the idea that we are not enough, that we need to become something or someone else to be worthy of success. This belief is rooted in fear and insecurity. It comes from the misconception that success is something outside of us that must be earned or acquired. But success is not external, it is internal. It is a reflection of how we show up in the world, how we engage with others, how we meet challenges, and how we grow through adversity. It is a natural expression of our being when we are in alignment with our true self. This alignment is not achieved through force or striving. In fact, it is the opposite. When we force things to happen, when we try to manipulate circumstances to fit our desires, we lose sight of the natural flow of life. Success, when it is forced, becomes a struggle, a battle to impose our will on the world. But when we align ourselves with the flow of life, when we let go of the need to control everything, success comes effortlessly. It is like a flower blooming in its own time, reaching its full potential without struggle or force. The journey towards success is not always linear. It is full of twists, turns, and unexpected detours. There will be times when we feel like we are making progress, and other times when we feel like we are stuck or moving backward. It is important to recognize that these moments are not failures but opportunities for growth. Each setback, each challenge is an opportunity to learn, to refine our skills, and to develop resilience. Success is not about avoiding difficulties, but about embracing them and using them as stepping stones toward our ultimate goal. Success also requires patience. It is easy to become discouraged when we do not see immediate results, or when progress seems slow. But the process of growth takes time. Like a tree that grows slowly over the years, success requires a deep foundation, a solid root system that can withstand the storms of life. Without patience, we may abandon our efforts too soon, never allowing ourselves the time to fully grow into our potential. Patience is not passive waiting. It is an active practice of trusting the process, of continuing to show up, even when the results are not immediately apparent. Along the journey, it is also essential to maintain a positive mindset. Our thoughts shape our reality, and if we constantly tell ourselves that success is unattainable or that we are not capable, we create a self-fulfilling prophecy. The mind is incredibly powerful, and what we believe about ourselves influences how we act, how we feel, and what we experience. Success begins with the belief that we are worthy of it, that we have the capacity to achieve it. When we cultivate a positive mindset, we begin to see opportunities instead of obstacles, and we approach challenges with a sense of confidence and determination. This mindset is not about denying the difficulties we may face, but about seeing them as part of the larger process, as necessary steps along the path. One of the most important aspects of success is the ability to stay true to ourselves, to honor our values, and to remain authentic in everything we do. It is easy to get caught up in the expectations of others or to follow the paths that society has laid out for us. But true success is about living a life that is true to who we are, not what others think we should be. When we live authentically, when we follow our own passions and values, we are in alignment with our true purpose, and success becomes a natural expression of that purpose. It is about doing what we love, what resonates with our heart and soul, and letting that be the driving force behind everything we do. Success also requires resilience, the ability to bounce back from failure, to keep moving forward despite setbacks, and to maintain a sense of hope and determination in the face of adversity. Resilience is not about avoiding difficulties, but about cultivating the inner strength to face them head-on, to learn from them, and to keep going. It is about seeing failure not as a reflection of our inadequacy, but as a necessary part of the journey. Every setback is a lesson, every challenge an opportunity to grow stronger, more capable, and more resilient. Resilience is what allows us to persevere when things get tough, to keep pushing forward, even when the road seems long and uncertain. At the heart of success is the understanding that we are not separate from the world around us. We are all interconnected, and our success is not only about our individual achievements, but about how we contribute to the world and to others. Success is not a solitary pursuit, it is a collective experience. When we succeed, we lift others up with us. Success is not just about what we accomplish for ourselves, but about the positive impact we have on the world and on those around us. When we recognize this interconnectedness, we understand that our success is part of a greater whole, a larger tapestry of life. Success is not merely about setting goals and achieving them. It is a continuous evolution, a never-ending process of growth, learning, and transformation. To truly succeed, we must begin by understanding that success is not something that can be defined by a single moment or event. It is woven into the fabric of our daily lives, in the way we approach each challenge, and in the choices we make at every step. When we approach success from this perspective, we start to see that the true measure of success is not in what we have accomplished, but in how we have become along the way. To succeed is not to be perfect. The notion of perfection is an illusion, a construct that holds us back from embracing the beauty of imperfection. Success is about being authentic, about being true to who we are, and about showing up for life, no matter how uncertain or difficult it may seem. It is not about meeting external expectations or conforming to societal standards. It is about the alignment of our inner world with our outer actions. When our actions reflect our true selves, when we act from a place of authenticity, success flows naturally. This alignment is the key to understanding that we are always moving towards success, even if it doesn't look exactly like we imagined. The process of success begins with the acceptance of where we are. We must embrace the present moment, with all of its imperfections and challenges, as the starting point. Too often we look at where we want to be in the future, and we feel discouraged by how far away we are from that ideal. But the reality is that success begins right here, right now. If we cannot fully embrace the present, if we are always looking toward the future or dwelling on the past, we miss the beauty of the journey. Success is not a destination, it is a way of engaging with life. It is about being present with each step we take, regardless of whether the path is smooth or filled with obstacles. The key to success is not force, but flow. When we attempt to force things to happen, we create resistance. We try to impose our will on the world, believing that through sheer effort we can shape things to our liking. But life does not work this way. The more we try to control the outcome, the more we disconnect from the natural flow of life. Success, however, happens when we align ourselves with the flow, when we let go of the need to control every aspect of the journey. This doesn't mean we stop taking action, but rather that we learn to take action with ease, without forcing, without pushing. When we step into the flow, we trust that everything will unfold as it should, and that the path, though uncertain, will lead us exactly where we need to go. True success requires us to embrace uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, and the path to success is rarely a straight line. There will be moments of doubt, confusion, and frustration, but these moments are not signs of failure, they are simply part of the process. The more we resist the uncertainties of life, the more we suffer. But when we accept uncertainty as a natural part of the journey, we free ourselves from the need for certainty and control. We learn to trust the unknown, to embrace the mystery, and to let go of the illusion that we can predict or control everything. Success comes not by avoiding uncertainty, but by embracing it with an open mind and an open heart. One of the most significant challenges on the path to success is overcoming the fear of failure. Fear often holds us back from taking action, from stepping outside our comfort zones, and from fully embracing the potential within us. But failure is not the enemy, it is a teacher, a guide on the road to success. Failure teaches us lessons that success cannot. It reveals our weaknesses, our blind spots, and our areas of growth. Rather than seeing failure as something to be avoided, we must see it as an integral part of the journey. Every failure is an opportunity to learn, to adjust, and to grow stronger. The more we embrace failure, the more we free ourselves from the fear that keeps us stuck. Success also requires resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks and to keep moving forward in the face of challenges. Resilience is not about avoiding difficulty, it is about developing the strength to face it head-on and continue moving forward despite the obstacles. It is the capacity to withstand adversity, to fall down and rise again, and to keep going even when the going gets tough. Resilience is built through experience. Each time we face adversity, we build the strength to face it again and to do so with greater confidence and determination. Success is not about being immune to hardship, but about developing the resilience to keep going no matter what. In our pursuit of success, we must also recognize the importance of balance. Success is not just about achieving goals or accumulating wealth or recognition. It is about living a life that is balanced in all areas: mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual. True success is holistic. It involves aligning all aspects of our being with our goals and desires. When one area of our life is out of balance, it affects everything else. Success is not sustainable if it comes at the expense of our well-being. We must learn to take care of ourselves, to nourish our bodies, calm our minds, and nurture our spirits. Balance is key to long-term success, as it allows us to continue pursuing our goals without burning out or losing sight of what truly matters. Another important aspect of success is the ability to let go. We often cling to things, whether they be ideas, people, or possessions that no longer serve us. We hold on to old ways of thinking, old relationships, or outdated beliefs because we fear letting go. But letting go is essential for growth. It creates space for new opportunities, new ideas, and new experiences. To succeed, we must be willing to release the old in order to make room for the new. This doesn't mean we abandon everything from our past, but that we approach life with an openness to change, to evolution, and to the possibility of transformation. True success is not a solitary pursuit. It is a collective experience, an interconnected journey. Our success is intertwined with the success of those around us. When we succeed, we lift others up with us. Our achievements are not just for our own benefit, but for the greater good. Success is not about competition, it is about cooperation. When we support others, when we share our knowledge and resources, when we help others on their path, we contribute to the collective success of humanity. Success, therefore, is not a zero-sum game. It is a shared experience, a journey that we walk together. As we continue on this path towards success, we must remind ourselves that it is not the destination that matters most, but the journey itself. The journey is where the growth happens, where the lessons are learned, and where we develop the qualities that define success. Success is not something that happens to us, it is something that happens within us. It is not an external reward, but an internal transformation. It is about becoming the person who is capable of achieving greatness, who is aligned with their true purpose, and who has the strength, resilience, and wisdom to navigate the challenges of life. Success is a process, and the more we embrace the process, the more we experience success in its fullest sense.